Alright. Hey, and welcome back. We are going to talk about my first impression here about Borderlands 4. And this is what we are going to talk about. And I'm just going to go through this list one point after another and just give my honest thought about it. And if you like it or not, yeah, well, that's cool. Leave a like and that will help me grow my little channel. Let's go first with point number 1. First off, the intro in the game. I found the bad guy to be quite interesting. I liked his personality. I want to find out more about him. And just the way we started the game was really, really nice. You just got thrown into this cool world. And I mean, I want to explore everything. And I also want to make sure that that bad guy is like taken out. So no problem with the intro at all. It felt cool. You got to choose between these awesome characters. And you got to read about them beforehand. They were sitting there looking cool. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I really enjoy how they introduce the character that you're going to play. The thing about the story and setting, I mean, as I said, it felt interesting. I want to follow up. There was a lot of ups and downs in the early intro. I mean, in a positive way, you got thrown back and forth between being like in a chaos situation to feeling that there's actually hope. And then all of a sudden something other things happened that made it go like, oh my fucking God. So yeah, really good intro. I didn't feel at all that the first impression of the world was confusing at all. When you're actually out in the open world, you get handheld a little bit and they show you around in a nice way. You get your little companion, Clap Pack, or whatever that the robot's name is. Really funny guy. Some people don't like him. Some people think he talks too much. I'm not one of them. I find the humor funny, but then again, I think it's also because the Borderlands 3, there was a lot of cringy characters and cringy dialogue, so I think that might be why some people want to be able to turn off the voices here. As I said, I thought it was a lot of fun meeting this kind of characters. The world seems really nice. And as I said, I didn't play the third game because I didn't like the narrow design of the levels. The open world here, it's exactly what I want, and actually exactly what I would like to see when I play Destiny 1, but that's another story. This is exactly the kind of open world I want to have in a looter shooter game. So thumbs up for that. And if you haven't played the first and second or third game, I don't think you're going to feel like you're going to miss out and miss anything. I mean, of course, it's going to be more fun to play this fourth game. You got a lot more lore in the baggage, bringing with you into the fourth game. But I don't think you're going to miss much because, hell, I don't go around wondering what this is and that is. It's kind of self-explanatory. More or less every game is like this. You get a helping hand, you get a little companion, and they're going to tell you what you got to do. So you shouldn't be afraid to buy the game if you feel like this is going to be something that you would have to play the older games. There is villains, of course, and there's allies. And some allies can actually be out hunting and protecting their small little settlements, if you could say, call it like that. Some people just set up their own barbecue in the middle of the wasteland. So yeah, all of a sudden they can start shooting at other NPCs that are monsters or villains. And yeah, it can be a little bit confusing, but it doesn't matter if there is friendly fire. So you can just whack them with a rocket launcher and they will fall being thrown away, but they are going to get up like the jolly good Roger soldiers they are, and they will still like you either way. Seeing the villains and the monsters, that's not confusing at all because they are going to show up that little red dots first on the compass that is up there, and then you're definitely going to figure out which one are villains and monsters. Just pepper them all and they're going to be blood and spray all over the place. So yeah. The characters themselves are interesting. They have different kind of approaches. Of course, I choose the big guy, Ammon, because he's big and cool. He got throwing axes and everything. So I think there's going to be a character that's going to be suitable for each and every persona out there. We got that girl with the kinetic powers. That's cool. She got her own little companion. We seem, I think, is a panther or something like that. And then we got the other guy here with some two shoulder cannons that I think I actually want to try out. He seems like a really cool, fun, playable character. He also got a wrist plate that he can take out and use against almost like a predator in a sense. Definitely a character I want to try out. The last one is some kind of chick that is running around more or less. She got big ass legs, and I don't really know what she's all about because I didn't read that much about her, but I think she might be a supportive class, maybe. I don't know. Not a character that I was that interested in personally. Then again, there's going to be two more characters that will come in the upcoming DLC, so we're just going to see what they are all about. The skill system is very easy to understand. If you play some skill-based games before, there's really nothing problematic with it. It's just that you need to activate the main skills. You got 3 skills to choose from. You can flick back and forward between them. I forgot that I actually have to double-click them or just click once to see that they are activated on the right side of the screen. That was a mistake on mine, so it took a while before I actually realized that I could use those skills, but that's just me. Maybe most likely most of you are a little bit smarter than I am, but yeah, no problem with the skill system. I think it's fun. I just haven't figured out how I can reset my skills because I want to be able to take my points, reset them, and put them in the other skill tree. But I guess I'm going to figure that out pretty soon. I think it's going to be self-explanatory as well. I think, however, the character is going to be more friendly to start with. It's going to be actually Ammon. He's just straightforward a brute, and you just push the F button and he activates his skill. And if you hold the F button one more time, he's going to smash his hammer down. It's pretty easy to do that. And I mean, so I would go with Ammon if it's my first time playing. But if you want a character that is more fast-paced and still, I think, more the easily one should be Rafa. Really, really cool character. If you're a guy that enjoy Call of Duty gameplay and fast gameplay, go with Rafa. The combat and gameplay, that's the most important thing in a game, and I'm very picky when it comes to how a game feels. I gotta say, I was overly surprised how good the game felt, because as I said, I played the 3rd game. I wasn't really impressed by that game, I'm gonna be honest with it. I felt like the feeling when he ran around and shot at the enemies, it felt flat, really. It didn't have the feeling, you know, Let's talk about Call of Duty. You know, when you kill something in Call of Duty, it has this ping to it, and it just feels so freaking good. You got the same kind of ping, and not the exact same kind of ping, but it does have this specific sound when the character dies. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it just feels so freaking good, you know? Yeah, don't mess with me, boy. Look at this. Such good detail. Oh, fuck. So that is one positive point. The other thing I want to talk about is how it feels when you slide. If any one of you have played Titanfall 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to sliding. And it's important that the slide is actually very smooth and that it doesn't just suddenly stop after a certain point. It actually depends also on the angle, on the tilt, on the place where you're sliding. If there's a little angle downwards, it would actually slide much further, but still on a flat surface, you slide exactly the amount that you will feel is necessary to be able to have a really fun gameplay, that you can just be a very fast-paced player running around and just sliding around people and shoot them in the back. It's actually a very, very nice balance. And that combined with the possibility to use those little rocket packs that you can like hover around or just fly a little bit further when you jump out from cliffs and stuff like that. That is also a lot of fun in fights where you can just hover or jump into the air and maybe just strafe right or left around and make cool turns in the air. I've had a lot of fun, and on top of that, you get the grappling hook, and you push V and grapple, and you jump up into the air, you strafe around, and you fall down, and you just slide around. And I mean, there's a lot of things and a lot of different tactics you can use when you're fighting. So I think this game is going to cater to everyone out there that wants to play a really good FPS game. The controls are very, very tight. It feels good, and I mean, it feels like the game is really well made and technically good made in that sense. And for new players who are not used to FPS games, I think you're definitely going to have an easy time either way, because the enemy characters are not that difficult, but they can be a little bit overwhelming even on normal for new players. So if you're a really new player, I would suggest start on easy. And the good thing is that you can change what I've read about, at least you can change the difficulty mid-game. So you can just try out and see how it feels and what is the best difficulty for you. Me personally, I'm playing on normal. I might amp it up to difficulty hard because I can feel like sometimes it's a little bit too easy. But I've been killed, and when you do get killed, you get a second chance. If you actually manage to shoot another character, if there's nobody around that can revive you, you can get a second chance and get up again and try again. I definitely also feel that the fights they feel fresh. I had people during my live stream that told me they played older games, and they said that it definitely feels a lot more intense watching the fights in Borderlands 4. That's really positive as well. And there's a good variety of enemies. Even in the beginning of the game, I've just wandered around in the first area, which is also quite big already just for being the first part. And there's a lot of cool enemies there, I can tell you that. Definitely interesting characters as well. Then we got the loot system. If you're not used to that, this might be a little bit overwhelming. I remember it was a little bit overwhelming for me in the third game. There were so many weapons, especially when I was supposed to sell the weapons. I felt like, hey, this is going to take some time, just go through everything. And one thing I noticed is that they could actually make it look a little bit more distinct which weapon you actually have equipped. I think there's only a little yellow tag on the weapons. It's not easy to spot for a new player, and it can be a little bit confusing where you're sitting there, you got like 50 or 60 weapons in the inventory and you want to sell them, and you can't really distinguish which one you are equipped. And of course, they're going to ask you if you want to sell and equip weapons, so you won't have to sell them by mistake. But I guess there will be a possibility that you can just, if you only want to use blue weapons or purple weapon, you can choose that all the white weapons and all the green weapons are just trash and you sell them immediately. So you can do that, I guess. But for a complete new player, yeah, it might be a little bit overwhelming, but you will get there, no problem at all. It's a lot of fun. The guns itself felt unique and fun, straight out of the box. Some of them didn't feel that good, though. It was kind of boring, but most of them are actually cool to use, and also most of them has a secondary option. You can switch between incendiary or these cold icy bullets. Some have like straight shoot bullets, and you can switch into shooting like mini rockets. Sniper rifles, you can like hold down the button, it will just load up the weapon's bullets to become one big bullet, and you can fire these extreme badass super bullets. But yeah, every weapon is more or less unique in the beginning already of the game, and I can't wait to see what else they're going to bring up. I just explored the first area, so I'm super excited to see what else the game is going to give me. The drop rate is good. I don't feel like they are throwing unique weapons at me. Feels like when there's a purple weapon dropping, I was like, oh, ooh, a purple weapon. So that's good. So I definitely don't think that they should actually up the amount of unique weapons dropping. I think it's good as it is. Maybe turn it down a little bit because I'm more for having a lot of unique weapons drop more or less, because I think it's just so damn cool when you get a legendary weapon. So yeah, I'm actually for them turning down the notch a little bit, because blue weapons are okay in the beginning, but I don't think, especially when you're not even level 10, that you're should be able to see the purple weapons. I think that should come after level 10 at least. But hey, that's just me. Now we're going to go over to the next topic. Was there any weapons that I liked more in the beginning? Yeah, it's actually the shotguns. I felt like the shotguns was the most fun because they had a really nice feel to it, especially slug versions. Felt really good hitting the enemies with those kind of weapons. As I said, there was cool different kind of weapons. I have found one shotgun where instead of you reloading it, you throw it away and it just says like shoot me on it. Sometimes the weapon actually talks to you as well. And well, you shoot it and it explodes. I mean, what about that? And it makes me excited to see what else crazy ideas they're going to throw at me during this adventure in Borderlands 4. What about the world design? Does the environment feel more open and free? Definitely. That was actually one of the reasons why I didn't want to play Borderlands 3, because I never liked that kind of narrow level design. I actually had a lot of problem with it in Destiny 1 as well, but that was more or less the first real FPS looter that I remember playing. So it was what it was, and just had to deal with it. Now we have a game that is really open world. The map looks really big, and I'm super excited because now I can just explore in my own pace, and if I want to continue on doing the main story, well, I can just go over there and do that. But maybe I want to explore and do some fun side missions, or go in and just loot and see how much weapons I can find during an hour of gameplay. I mean, the choices are really yours, and you can just do really whatever you want there. And yeah, you could do that in Borderlands 3, yes. Also, I guess, but this looks beautiful. Looking out in the vast distance, you can see the open space. It's just wonderful. And to me, it wasn't difficult to explore. You can ping, you get this little companion, this little robot, looks like a flying saucer, really funny character. You get him pretty early in the game, you can just ping and he will show up, you will see the way. if you're tagged a mission that you're supposed to do, then you get the little yellow lines. You can see where you're going. So really easy to find your way. Also, you got the compass up there, so there's really no problem finding your way around. You can see every icon. So just look around, take your time. There's no problem at all. You just will take a little here and a little turn there. And then all of a sudden, you've been there in maybe a day or two, and you're really starting to get to know the place and understand, hey, know this place now. This feels like home a little bit. And that makes it feel a lot more fun as well. I haven't, however, come to the vehicles yet, so I can't talk about them, but I'm looking forward for it. I think it's really cool that we are going to have vehicles. And yeah, I'm super stoked about that. And another question is, does the world feel alive? Well, yeah, I think it does, because there is a huge amount of different kind of enemies that is roaming around, not just these humanoids character, but it's also cool animals that are just flying around in the open wild. Hordes of these big-ass buffalo kind of dinosaurish creatures, or these flying bats or insects or whatever. So you will encounter the fauna. Then you're of course going to find the enemies. They're going to have their own camps and places set up. And on top of that, there's going to be friendly NPCs as well that have set up their own little booth and camp. So there is often a lot of fun, different kind of interactions that you will stumble upon. So no, the world doesn't feel dead or dull at all. It feels very much alive, and there's always something interesting around every corner. First of all, I'm gonna say actually the game is beautiful. It just looks very, very stunning, and I personally enjoy this kind of game design when it comes to the visual. It's very pleasant for the eyes. They've upped the amp a lot since the third game, definitely. How the light is going through the trees, or when you're entering into or out from a cave, you can see the light coming in. It's very, very nice game. And as I said, the cell shading style is top notch. It looks freaking cool, man. I love it. I'm an old school gamer. I've been gaming since I was 3 years old, and I'm heading over to 45 years old soon. So, man, I've been playing a lot. I love this kind of visuals. I have no problem with it. I think it's stunning to look at, and they have actually done a really good job on the design of the graphics here. Something I guess most of you want to talk about is the performance here. And yeah, it actually runs freaking good. But the weird part is it only ran about 60, 70 FPS on 1440p when I played it first in 16:9. And the thing is that I turned on the DLSS and then the frame generation AI. I run it on a 4080 RTX. And the game pumped up to 90 FPS, almost around 100. Then I closed the game down and I went to bed and I woke up and I looked if there was an update. There wasn't an update. I don't know if it's updated in the background when I play the game, because my Steam definitely not update on its own. I need to pick which game I'm going to update. I thought to myself, I'm going to try the game now in ultra wide since I have an ultra wide screen. So I booted it up, went into the game, and I put it on ultra setting. It was up in 150 FPS. No clue what happened, but the game runs much better after this night of sleep. So thumbs up for that. There's actually no problem with the performance here. And even when I played it, when I started the game yesterday on the high setting, there was no problem at all with stuttering. There was like one little place in the open world when it was stuttering, like minor stuttering, but really no problem at all. Other than that, everybody who watched my live stream also said that, man, this runs smoothly, runs really, really good. So I'm really happy about that. I'm super, super happy about the performance here. Another question, if the locations are varied enough to keep the interest up and running. As I said, I only been in the first area, but even though it's the same fauna, there's a lot of interesting small little places there. Only thing that I will actually suggest is that if I find a little house or a hut, there's all these kind of little black holes that should be an entrance. You can't enter those little houses. I think sometimes they've actually missed a little opportunity there, because who doesn't want to go inside a little hut and just explore what there could be inside that place? So a little bit thumb down for that, but I guess you can't get everything right. Other than that, the world is really, really fun. There's a lot of different kind of areas there that's going to keep you occupied and going to get your little lizard brain very, very excited to see new things all over the place. There's no worry about that. The maps is well done. I know many people complain about the Borderlands 3, that there was a lot of cringe-worthy dialogues there. I also have problem with that. I can honestly say that, and I can pretty easily spot it. I mean, if something is cringe, we all can feel it down in our guts. We want to pick up a pillow and hold it in front of our head. I didn't feel that at all in this game when I started up. There was many times that when I laughed, and this character Ammon, the way he talks, he's a very, very heroic character that is just want to show how good he is and do the world a better place. I mean, he's a really, really cool character. And the thing is with Ammon that he doesn't really talk about people using their names. He's referring to them, how he looks upon them. And he's such a big guy, so most people are just like small little pebble peasants. So he has his own way of describing people, and every time he does that, I laugh a lot. And then we got Claptrap. I know many people, for some reason, don't like him and wanted to shut him off. I think he's funny, man. Yeah, he's a lot of character. I gotta give you that. But I don't think that his humor in this game is cringeworthy. I think it's funny. I enjoy listening to him. So I think they must have changed a lot because I can't find the cringe that the people are talking about here. Most likely the developers here actually took the criticism to them and changed up the whole humor aspect of the game. And if you start to look around in the world, there's a lot of fun details. Just look around on the walls. Look at the text. Like I found this photograph of Claptrap in bikini on the wall. I mean, and I also found a bag of some kind of food for some kind of pet. That was actually really funny, well, to read about. And then I found another poster. I think they were wanting to give away a pet. And all those kind of funny text you can read. It makes the world feel like a more living world because it adds to the lore, but it adds to the humor as well. I love it. A lot of charm and a lot of fun things to find everywhere. Me personally, as I said, I played the game straight for 8 hours. There was no bugs, no hiccups, no crashing, no lagging, and it loads up really fast. But there's really nothing much to say about the performance there. Everything runs very smoothly. The only little bug that I saw that was Claptrap. He was sitting down below, a little bit underneath the floor level. I mean, those kind of little small glitches, you can live with them. They're going to be patched up anyway. But there wasn't any big things in the game at all that I noticed. Music is really important, and I feel that they've done a good job on that part. When you start in some places, you actually can hear Mongolian throat singing. You know, that's pretty badass. I wish we could hear it more because you don't hear it for long when that gets introduced in those areas. But I think the music is good. I'm a little surprised over how fun it is to hear the rock and metal songs turning up when the action starts to heat up. And it also suits the different kind of gameplays because when I went into an area, there was a lot of enemies. I started shooting at them, and the metal and the rock started pumping up, and that was cool. And then I went inside a building, like a barn, and I started sitting there shooting them a little bit more with my sniper rifle. Then the music turned down, and it follows my rhythm of the game. And as soon as I choose to jump down into the fight again and just hammering down and shoot everything with my shotgun, the music just pumped up again. And that's cool that the music follows my game style. I think that's really, really nice. I like how the music goes with the action here. Like, was standing there sniping and was a little bit more skilled. But as soon as I went down, picked up the pace again. The gun sounds and explosions, they're good. There's nothing memorable about it at all. I would say the special effects, when you use your special abilities, they could be better. They could feel better. The sound from the guns, when you kill an enemy, you get this extra ting sound, which is perfect because that's what I like. The same thing when you're in fighting games and you hit an enemy, the game pauses, the character pauses just for a brief seconds, and it just feels there. It feels like the impact is much more powerful, you know. Same thing here when you kill an enemy, it just feels good. It just feels like it stops a little bit, like in Call of Duty. Problem here, you don't feel that when you use your powers, really. I smashed my hammer down, it didn't feel that good. It's not like I said, oh, fucking, that was so freaking cool. It was just like, yeah, you smash the hammer, a little explosion, and that's it. It didn't have the feel to it, as I call it. I call it umps. It's just a thing for me. It feels good. It should feel like in your body, all the way down to your toes and up to your hair and neck. It's going to go through all the senses in your body if something feels really good in a video game. You who know who I'm talking about, put that down in the comment and let me know what you think about it. And it's the same thing with his axes. You can pick up the axes in this special move, and you can choose either through a fire or an ice axe. If you hit the enemy, it's like, it could have been just like any other fucking thing you throw a stick or whatever. It should be more powerful, more memorable, I think. But with that said, it's not that I don't like the special abilities. I think it's fun. When I activate my one ability with ammo, and you get this area of effect where you're shooting out all these kind of fire orbs that damage the enemies, and it feels really nice to just jump in the middle of the fight with my shotgun and just go crazy. And I know that every character around me is going to feel that heat from the fire. But when I choose to smash the hammer, you have to hold down the button, the F button. It's like, feels like there's a delay to it, so I can't really just ping like, man, now I want to hit my hammer down exactly there. It might be that the enemy gets to run away a little bit and I miss the mark, and it should be more like direct when I want to hit my hammer. Little technical stuff like that. Maybe they can patch those things up, I don't know. Then we got the voice acting, and I think that's one of the stronger sides in the Borderlands games. The voice acting has always been top-notch. For me personally, I love the thing that we can actually hear our main characters talk. Usually it's just a random line of text that we have to read through. Now we can listen to them, and that would give us a whole persona to actually get to know much more how these characters think and act and what their drive is. And also in the middle of the fights, you can hear them scream when they get hurt, and you can hear them actually make those fun little noises, even when you slide sometimes. Like, I usually make those noises when I play the game myself, and now I can hear him do it as well. It's pretty funny, man. If you just let him stand around watching the vista, he will most likely say something deep. I mean, he's a cool character to get to know, and he has a lot of interesting views on life, definitely. The same thing goes for the NPCs that they meet. They are high quality voiceovers. Really happy about that. It makes the world feel also more alive when you got good voice actors. The game, if it feels welcoming to new players, and yeah, definitely for more long-time fans, absolutely. I think long-time fans is going to have a lot of fun. As I said, I played only the third game briefly, but this seems like a game that has, just from my first impression, a lot of high quality in it. It looks like they have worked very hard in this title, and I think it's going to perform very well among the true fans out there. And for new players, it's very welcoming. It brings you in a smooth way in the beginning, and it lets you explore without throwing you into the main story too much. You get to know the plot and what is going on, and then they set you free in the world, and you can choose to continue on the main story, or you can choose to just roam around free, do whatever you want, and explore in your own pace, and take a little side mission here and there, and earn XP and level up. And when you feel like you're ready, well, then you can head over and continue the main story. It's just like more or less any RPG game out there. But in this sense, I feel like everything is very, very inviting. And as I said, it looks very pretty as well. So the world is there for you to explore. And so you can't really help yourself to want to stay around and explore every crook and nugget out there. I mean, just look at the game. If the game is worth it now, the price is around 70 euros. I mean, definitely, I think the game, I would have no problem saying if a game is worth only $40 or $50 or $20. I definitely would say that this is a AAA title that is worth the pricing. However, I would not say that the extra packages is worth it, because, I mean, those weapons, you can buy them in-game either way, so it doesn't really matter. But if you're going to save up some money on the future expansions, definitely it would be worth purchasing the early access versions. That would only be the only reason, really. I was hoping that if the early access versions would come with maybe some kind of fun pet or something else rather than just a mask. I didn't feel that that was enough for me to buy it early access. But yeah, if you're on the fence, if you feel like I still want to wait until this game gets a discount, well, wait, no problem. I mean, the game is going to be much likely better. I mean, they're going to patch it up even more, so it's going to be even better. But if you're like sitting there, man, I really want to play this game, just do it. You won't be sorry. The game is really good already. And as I said, I'm running it on a 4080 RTX game card, so no problem at all from my side. So what about the biggest positive thing that I felt about this game? It was definitely how the world was built and the open world environment. I felt like they put down a lot of work on the details in the world, and it makes me feel like I just want to explore even further. And also the feel when you shoot the enemies, I think it feels really good. The most negative aspect as a fresh player, well, that would be maybe that you can't enter certain buildings. I think it kills the vibes. I think it kills the immersion. When you're running around there, you can run into caves and you can run into certain buildings, but all of a sudden you see this hut and there's like a black hole and you just can't enter it. I mean, why even put a open door there? Just put a wooden door in front of it. Why have a hole? It's a hole. I want to go inside and see what's inside, and it just stops me. Just put a door there instead. Hey, well, other than that, there wasn't really anything negative. Other than they could have, as I said, in the inventory, just point out more distinct which weapons or equipment that you actually have equipped. Make it like shine or something on the border. I don't know. As I said, it was just a little icon up in one of the corners, I think. But I guess you can sort it out. I mean, there's probably a good mechanic for that as well. But you see, this is just minor things. It's just really not a problem. So what I want to say with that is that the game is great. There's really nothing much to talk about here. No big issues at all. It runs smoothly. It's a lot of fun. There's so much to explore. And as I said, maybe the special effects or the feel when it comes to those special powers that these characters have. I haven't, as I said, played the other character, but with ammo, when he throws his hammer down and smashes the ground, it could have felt better. But my final verdict here is that if you're on the fence about getting a game, you don't need to worry. By the game, there is going to be tons of fun for you in it. If you still feel like, hey, I can't wait, well, just wait then. There's no problem in that. The game is going to come out with future expansions within a couple of months, I think, 3-4 months. So there's going to be lots of fun things in the future as well. The game ain't going anywhere. It's super fun, and I'm really happy that this game got so good performance. So with that said, I hope you got something out of my video here. Like, I'm not a super fan analytic when it comes to the Borderlands games. So with that said, I hope you got something out of my video here and it helped you decide a little bit more if you want to play this game. As I said before, I'm not a super fan when it comes to Borderlands, but I definitely am now after playing Borderlands 4. They have hooked me into this franchise. I'm really happy about it. I just wish that they actually could release a good movie about Borderlands. And before we go, don't forget to like and subscribe, and that will really make me happy. And I also have my Discord channel. You can go over there. There's a link in the bio there. You can see what's going on. Really nice community that just started growing up now a little bit this last couple of weeks. And with that said, I wish you and everybody else a great day and take care of each other now. And I'll see you guys out in the wasteland.